It's every adult human being's dream to own a home. But what should you look out for before buying a home? We've heard so many cases of people being conned. And to demystify this whole topic of home ownership, today we'll be speaking to Nishan Okoa, who is a property manager and the author of the book, Don't Buy That House. Welcome. So let's say we've identified a home that we like. You've seen an apartment, you've seen a standalone home, a maisonette or whatever. What is the step-by-step process that we should go through to get that house and ensure we don't get conned, to ensure that we are safe legally?
Good. So I will do this with the view that the property you've allocated is off plan. So I'll give that step. So first of all, freeze yourself from what you've seen on the poster. All right? Withdraw back from what the image you've seen, the render, whatever it is, freeze away from that. Walk into the developer's office and ask for the house details. That's the first thing you have to bring. You've not paid. You haven't paid. Give me what I call the finishes schedule. I want to know exactly what this floor is. In the render, I can see it's timber, but is it timber? All right? So give me the finishes details of this house, plus the area schedule. So the kitchen door is this, it is mahogany. Okay, the tile is ceramic. There's gypsum ceiling, I can see here. There's a wardrobe walk-in. Everything, it's plaster paint for the walls. The clear exactly finishes at this house. And the lounge is 20 square meter. The bedrooms are all 9 square meter or 12 square meter with a wardrobe. It's all in suit. I can see it clearly in the drawing, in the finishes schedule. All right? Be satisfied with that this is exactly what you want. And in the book, I talk about it. If you're a layperson, just measure. What is 3 meters? Just measure. Yeah? Measure it properly and be satisfied. Once you've done that, ask for the sale agreement, because that is definitely the most important thing. Scrutinize that document thoroughly. All right? And don't leave it to a lawyer alone. I say that because lawyers that don't understand construction jargon will miss very critical points in the sale agreement. There are certain critical details in the sale agreement that must make sense, all right? And they are construction language, they are construction lingo. A lawyer will not clearly understand if he doesn't understand construction. And that's why in the book I've broken down to that buyer to understand exactly those details, even for the lawyer. So go through it. When is the project completing? Is it here? What house am I buying? Is it here? The finishes, is it here? Is it an addendum? Have them as an addendum. Clearly, the payment terms, how am I going to pay? Is okay, 10% is here. The balance, based on milestones, what are these milestones? So go through it clearly, right? And tie in every loose ends that people may have in a sale agreement. All right? Execute it. The next part is you must play a part in this project in terms of supervision. You cannot wait for 6 months to go visit your project. All right? Developers are always flexible. I always say, Saturday afternoon, what are you doing? Morning, drive down. Be a regular visitor to the project. See it coming up. If you're going to make changes, make those changes. Yeah? Timely changes. For example, there are certain changes you can't make when the project is at a certain level. So be involved so that you can make changes. You'll be seeing the sizes as they come up. Does it make sense for you? Could you move this wall? Can they move this wall for you? Can they close the kitchen for you? Those kind of things. So get involved actively. Then you'll see how the project coming up. Always ensure your payment is on milestones, not monthly. Always ensure that in the sale agreement. That will protect you from, just in case this project stalls. Whatever you paid for is worth what is being built. You're not paid for excess. That's very key for you. Now, work with the project and always have some balance to be paid at the end. That can only be paid when you have completed and the defects period has been rectified. Those are key important for you. If you don't do that, then you'll finish paying a house and there are a lot of defects. All right? Defects normally 6 months, and you're also back to your pocket doing the defects. So that has to be tied up at the end. There has to be some balance you hold until the defects period, once you moved in, has lapsed and defects have been corrected. Is that pretty simple?
Thank you. Okay, so the affordable housing model, it has been a thing There have been houses built in Pangani and other areas. Do you think it has been a successful venture, and why? Because we have seen that there are houses, 2-bedroom houses, 3-bedroom houses that have been built. But then there's some people who have raised concerns about, say, the size of the units. We're seeing some houses that are, let's say, 65 square meters for a 2 or 3-bedroom house. Is it a very good model? Has it been successful?
Claire, let me paint for you a picture briefly before I talk about Kenya affordable housing. Let me give you 2 countries. I've done so much research and work about affordable housing, especially in Africa. Ethiopia will come to mind. And sometimes when we began this project, I always wondered, why can't we just case study our neighbor, all right? I'll give you 2 examples, Ethiopia and Angola. Angola, because Angola model mirrors our model in terms of how affordable housing came into being. It is a political thing. And Angola did the same thing, all right? Political discussion in campaign, and then it came to be built. Ethiopia, because Ethiopia is doing one of the biggest social housing in modern Africa, all right? Or in sub-Saharan Africa, or in developing countries, that's what they say. But the challenges they face, since 2006 actually, challenges they face is something we'll learn from. Number one, they're doing only ground plus 4. All right? That's number one. Ground plus 4. Ground plus 4 because you avoid lift. If there's anything that is expensive in a building, maintenance is a lift. It's quite expensive. So they eliminate that lift part. I mean, Pangani, you've gone very high floors, and you want to bring the low-cost people in these houses. The cost of service charge, you have to look at it. Who's going to maintain it? So Ethiopia removed that part. Angola did not, and that's why it's a city called Kikambala. City is empty, right? Cost of service. Number 2 is location. If you're going to move Kibera people to Pangani, how does that work? Why don't you do the project in Kibera? Because probably they have to, or you want to do Kayaba people into Pangani, but Kayaba or Mkuru Kwanjenga walks to industrial area. So if you push them away from town, how will they walk? They have to pay fare, they will not move. Ethiopia had those challenges and they dealt with them, building these things closer to where people are and where they work. So you have to clearly look at how they work and marry it with the design. Then the size comes into play. And it's a big issue for us as Kenyans. We are always so fixated with price and our area. And yet area is the most imperative thing for any person in a house. All right? So 2.2 million affordable housing sounds great, sounds fantastic, but what is the size? You're doing a 50, 55, 60 square meter 2-bedroom house, all right? In a family that clearly is growing. For how long are they going to be here? With a kitchenette that is off plan. In our African context, sometimes that alone is a problem for most people, all right? So size has been a problem, and that's why affordable housing was a good idea, and I've always said, our issue in the built environment in Kenya is not that we cannot build. The issue has been the construction cost. And that's why I've always posited that the debate on affordable housing must begin with the cost of construction. Lower it for us, we will build affordable housing. Some of us also with greater thoughts always feel it's not the business of government to get involved in these things. Create the policies and let the industry do their work. Yes, yes.
And finally, as a parting shot, as you wrote this book, is it out of personal experience? Have you burnt your fingers in the real estate market, or have you talked to a lot of buyers who have lost millions in the market? What inspired you to write this book?
This is my 12th year in the field of the construction, and we do consultancy, we do project and construction management. My background is construction management. So I deal with developers on a daily basis. That's number one. Number two, I've dealt with so many buyers that have burnt their fingers. So many painful stories of buyers who burnt their fingers. A lot of times. I've not burned my fingers yet, but I have witnessed those tears in my office when they flow, when 11 million of the family saving cannot be recovered, and the project is stuck 4 years down the line. All right. So, and if you interrogate them, the carelessness is palpable, and that's the painful part. And these people are schooled. Normally, they are quite educated, but the carelessness is palpable. There was no keen attachment to what they were doing, and they lose a lot of money, especially off plan. Now, that is what brought me to write this book, because a lot of the times people walk to your office, they don't even have the drawing of the apartment they bought. Forget about the approved drawing of the county. Just the drawing itself of what they're buying, they just took what they were told, it is 3-bedroom, and they went to sell agreement and signed. So Kenyans have been gullible, very gullible when it comes to real estate property. I've said that so many times. But the onus is on us in the built environment. The government has to protect even the most foolish of its citizens. You have to, the onus is on you. So some of us that have this experience in the built environment and still consulting on development and advising clients, we owe it to the public out there that are not here to educate them so that they are wiser as they invest in construction. Yes.
That has been the Property Simplified show, and we have talked all about off-plan buying and what to look out for when buying a home. I hope you have learned a thing or two, and until next time, do make sure you do your due diligence. Remember, due diligence is the name of the game to ensure you don't get your fingers burnt in the property market. Until next time, I've been your host, Claire Munde.